think Sheila Fogarty lives in Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Do you?
Yeah. I think the Tories didn't break the system. It's exploiting the law that broke the system.
Is it?
That's what's happening. I mean, that's why a lot of the migrants, asylum seekers, economic migrants, know that they get into the country, they can stay here for years. They can exploit the law. They are very unlikely they're going to
When
get
you say
deported.
they, who do you mean?
Well, a lot of them, they know it.
A lot. Do you have a number?
With globalisation, with the internet, the information is out there. They know they can exploit that system. That's what's happening.
All right. But nobody's suggesting that the system doesn't need sorting out, and nobody's suggesting that there shouldn't be limits on people who come to this country. That any country has the right to choose the limits of the people who come to the country and the manner in which they come and the rules around that. But there is an overarching international set of rules a treaty that we've signed about refugees and asylum seekers.
Yeah, but they're being exploited now.
Well, things are always exploited. Things are always exploited by charlatans. So we'll deal with the charlatans. Doesn't mean we still don't help the vulnerable, does it?
And also, I mean, obviously, you speak to your campaigning groups and of course, I mean, you have to have sympathy for people in countries in war-torn countries in difficulties. They're all going to have stories of difficulties and of danger. And it doesn't mean that everyone can come to Great Britain. Of
course it doesn't. Nobody's suggesting everyone comes to Britain. The vast majority of people stay close to their home. And those that don't, we hear their claim for asylum. That's it. And our figures are relatively low compared to lots of other European countries.
But still, it's too many. I mean, you can see, yes, it's too many coming across in the boats. That's what's happening.
And nobody wants the boats to continue. I don't want the boats to continue. I don't want people drowning in the Channel.
And the only answer is a tough system. There is no other answer.
Really, no other answer.
Labour don't have the answers, do they? They're not going to. They're just going to cave in.
Well, so you swallowed that one hook, line, and sinker then.
No,
Well, let's hear what Labour has to say in the run-up to the general election.
Labour don't have the answers. They talk a lot of things about Tories are broken. The Tories didn't break the system.
John, you say Labour don't have the answer. The Tories have been in power for 13 years. This is something like I've lost count of the attempts since David Cameron and beyond to fix the system, to reduce the numbers, to solve the problem of illegal immigration. It hasn't happened. Now, will that all be the government's fault? Probably not, because of the international pressures that are being exerted on every country. But they have been in power during that time. John, it is laughable to blame Labour for this.
Yeah, but the thing is, the what's happening has moved on. That the migration is dynamic. It's changing. So it's moved from going on the Channel Tunnel, the lorries to the boats.
And if your response to circumstances changing is to get meaner and meaner and tougher, well, you're just telling me who you are, John.
No, that's just the reality. It's not that people don't want Britain to be welcoming to different, but you've got hundreds of millions of people, like Braverman has said, there are hundreds.
No, you don't. Hundreds of millions of people don't want to come to Britain.
I heard the caller just before I came in saying, well, Labour's got no answer on this small boats thing. And I was sort of outside the studio going,
Go on, what is it?
Firstly, speed up processing. Fewer than 1% of arrivals on small boats have had their claims processed in the last year. That is a disgrace. Secondly, where claims are denied, repatriate people quickly. Those numbers are down 80% compared to when Labour was last in office. And the third thing is, instead of that bonkers Rwanda scheme that isn't going to work, use hundreds of millions of pounds that would have gone into that over the next few years into the National Crime Agency to smash the criminal gangs, many of whom are operating in this country, trafficking people. That might not be as sensationalist and headline grabbing as what the Home Secretary said today, but it's practical, it's achievable, and it would actually have the desired impact, because no one wants to see people travelling across the Channel in small boats. It is dangerous. People are dying on the Channel. Criminal gangs are exploiting them. And I really feel for people in those coastal communities who have the challenge washing up on the shore.